Welcome to the Undrafted Armchair Quarterbacks. We're Jim and Joe, lifelong friends, lifelong fans, bringing you fan-driven sports talk the way real fans do. No overpaid experts, no scripted analysis, just honest takes on the games, players, and the big stories shaping sports right now.
We love having you be a part of it, everyone. Thank you. Drop your comments, questions, and takes. We'll read them all and bring them into future shows. Please hit like, subscribe, tell your friends about us. Join us in our conversations every week right here for free on YouTube, Spotify, TikTok, Instagram, or wherever you listen. Hey, Joseph.
I mean, sounds like you can just walk down the street, get on a city bus, and you'll hear the Undrafted Armchair Quarterbacks podcast.
That's right. I love it.
Maybe not yet. Music, elevator, music, that's where we should pipe it in. I mean,
great idea.
Yeah, I got to be honest with you. When I listen to elevator music, sometimes it lifts me up. Sometimes it gets me down.
Loving an elevator.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Living it up.
But I interrupted you. What were you going to say?
Loving an elevator.
Oh,
yeah.
Well, then I think most people are glad I interrupted you. So, listen, as usual, our Tuesday podcast, by the way, if I sound a little snuffy, spring is in full. I mean, it is like full mode right up here in North Georgia. If you've ever been here during this time of year, then you know what I'm talking about. You can easily play tic-tac-toe or sign your name in any car hood right now. No problem. It is rough, but I don't have allergies, luckily, officially. But man, you can't help but be affected by it.
You could show
but that also means.
Sorry to interrupt. You could also show your St. Patrick's Day spirit and go write Happy St. Patrick's Day on your neighbors, or if you go out tonight, write it on their windshields. And hope you don't get arrested, but you could give it a try.
I think writing with your fingers fine. I'm glad you interrupted because I was going to jump right into sports, but it is St. Patrick's Day, and listen, we have to recognize that any holiday, especially one that I don't want to say promotes, but gives you another reason to enjoy. What is it called? Libations.
Yeah.
I am all for.
You might go a little extra and not just do Diet Cokes this time?
Let's just say it wasn't invented when St. Patty's Day was probably created or invented. And I'm not going to say this was intentional, but it just so happens that a lot of the teams I love have the appropriate colors for today.
That's right.
So, not saying the Dodgers don't ever wear green. Not saying the Florida State Seminoles don't wear green. I'm just saying. So, just wanted to point that out.
I love it.
So happy St. Patty's Day to everyone. Hi. Top of the morning to you, my friend.
That's right. I love when the spring training teams wear the green caps. Major Leagues.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, me too.
That's a very cool tradition. And to all of our folks out there who are Irish descent, happy St. Patrick's Day. And half of the NFL football coaches, Mike McDaniel, Mike McCarthy, Mike McDonald, they're half the NFL coaches out there are celebrating big time today.
Seems like their heritage, based on their last name, certainly does. And if you're a Notre Dame fan out there, it's a little bit of a cheating if you don't have any Irish in you whatsoever. But because you go to Notre Dame, you have special permission today to act like you do. So that's good.
As long as they buy you a beer.
Of course.
There you go. Miami beat Notre Dame, so.
Hey, listen. And little known fact, everyone knows that Chicago, Boston do a great job of St. Patty's Day celebrations. One of the, maybe for some of you, one of the best kept secrets out there. If you really want to see, it's ranked top 3 for sure on St. Patrick's Day blowouts. You got to go to Savannah, Georgia. Savannah, Georgia is unbelievable and puts on a great St. Patty's Day good time.
I'm going to write that down with ink. Thank you.
Yeah, you should. Yeah. Okay. St. Patrick's Day does not stop the sports world from turning. And boy, was it turning this weekend and still turning and tonight. So we got a lot to get to. Um, this weekend was the TPC. And if you saw our podcast about the TPC, pre TPC coming up, um, Teddy, one of our resident experts in basketball and golf, was on with his picks for the TPC. I'd like to play that right now, not just to show how good Teddy's prognostication was, but my comment at the end. I've gotten a few comments on what was I talking about and what does that have to do with anything. So without further ado, let me just play this 30-second clip um, so we can have a little reference point. Okay.
I'll
Are you
never
ready?
let you hear the end of it.
Yes. Well, here we go. This is it. And we're going to listen to what Teddy said and what I said. Here we go.
My fourth year in a row going to TPC. I think it's really hard to bet against Scotty Scheffler. I think he's like T 150th or something crazy on the first day of Thursday of a tournament, like strokes gained. And in the last 3 days, he's first. So if he has one good Thursday, that's all he needs to literally win a tournament. But my favorite golfer on the tour, Cameron Young, he's played really good pretty much every week, but you got to ball strike your way around TPC Sawgrass. It's very tight. Greens are fast. You got to putt well. But I like Scotty, Cameron Young, and also I think Justin Rose has a good chance.
I'm not on the Cameron Young train until he gets a little personality because, I mean, come on. What has he got? Botox? Smile. Do something. My God. You can't have a game face on 40 hours a day.
This is my
Yeah. So there you had it. Like I said, I'd like to, a couple things here. I'd like to point out Teddy mentioning Cam Young by name and mentioning that he's been playing great and is, one of his favorite on tour, and that's who ended up winning. And I'd like to address very briefly my comments at the end saying, I'm not on the Cam Young train until he gets some personality. All I was saying was that, in some sports, you just want to see a little bit of, personality, right? I mean, maybe Scotty Scheffler recently has been adding to my little angst about this because, Scotty, you just won the Masters. Like, yeah, I know. Yeah, that's great. Scotty, you just won the US Open. Golf's not that important to me, really. And then here's Cam Young. Great golfer, obviously. A great man, from what I can tell. Beautiful family. Again, I never emphasize this as being the number one thing, although to some people it is, and to me it's important. Looks like a great Christian man. Definitely a good representation of the PGA. However, I just want to see. I mean, let's face it. You watch some sports. Tennis. Okay. If I told you, or if I asked you, give me your top 5 all-time major winners in tennis. You're going to name off, a lot of them. You're going to name off McEnroe. You're going to name off, blah, blah, blah. But, you probably won't name off Pete Sampras. He's number 3 on the list, by the way. Number 2, Wimbledon wins. Number 2, U.S. Open wins. You know why you don't think of him? No personality. Great guy, great tennis player. But let's face it, if you had a chance to watch paint dry or Pete Sampras in a post-tennis interview, you'd pick the paint. I'm just saying. I mean, baseball. Who do we love? Who do we love? We love Pete Rose. We love Reggie Jackson. Now, they don't have to be, the bad guys. We love Tommy Lasorda.
Yes.
Nothing was better than watching Tommy Lasorda run out of the dugout. You never knew what was going to happen. It was great.
And it comes right down to a simple thing. The sports personalities that draw people's attention, for good or bad, are great for the sport. You got to have some personality, and that's all you were saying. But I'll still never let you hear the end of it, because not only did he win, but my goodness, the fashion. There were a lot of people glued to that TV when they hit 17. I guarantee it. And my goodness.
It was almost before that, really. I love Oberg. Speaking about personality, what a great young guy. Slapping high fives, walking to number 14. Maybe he should have been more focused on golf, like Cam Young. However, shooting a +4 your last day, especially on the back nine. The back nine at the TPC delivers. I mean, I can't think of a year where it wasn't intense. And you know what? Cam Young, you are right. To go pin seeking on 17, when that pin is far right, with no room for error to the right, and he stuck it, and then to hit a 375-yard drive on number 18, which the only way you do that is to draw it. Otherwise, it's in the trees. So you have to draw it 375-yard to get it in the fairway. And we know it's on the left side. And we know that when you draw the ball, that means it's moving left. I mean, clutch. Unbelievable. So no doubt about it.
And I read, don't believe everything you read, that is a course record. 75-yard drive on that hole.
Yeah, not a surprise. That takes major golf balls to do that. And
Yeah, good point.
and by the way, half the field, probably more than that, are hitting 3-wood. So just to whip out the big dog, was spectacular. So listen, one of the reasons people loved or hated, I say hated, loved or hated Tiger Woods, he had personality. Sometimes good, sometimes not so good. I remember when he was first coming up, he had to battle David Duval. You could argue David Duval had no personality either, but David Duval wore the Oakleys. He was stoic. He would, he always went for it. He never like played safe or laid up. And that alone was an amazing. It was like Darth Vader, and
the silent assassin that you said.
He was like the silent assassin, right? And then you got Phil Mickelson, thumbs up everywhere, slapping high fives everywhere too. All I'm saying is this: congratulations to Cam Young, well deserved. I'm not taking anything away from that as a person and representative of the PGA Tour, but a little smile, little fist bump, something every now and then would be. That's all I'm saying. Okay, great. Thank you.
Golf does. Thank you, Joe. Very well-rounded explanation right there.
Thank you. And golf does what? It does.
Goes in a hole.
Yes. Hey, listen, I think Bryson is great for the game. Do I want everyone to be like Bryson? No, for two reasons. Number one, then there would be no Bryson. Everyone's like that. So different personalities are important. No question about it. And we need the stoic, quiet ones too, just like, just like Cam, but that's okay. Congratulations, Cam Young. You're off to a great start this season. I hope to see more of you. So thank you for giving me that opportunity.
You're welcome. And I got one last thing to say about the golf tournament this past weekend. It brought up Olympic-like atmosphere because we also haven't mentioned yet the agony of defeat for Oberg. My goodness, the guy was rock solid through 3 rounds. And then when the pressure was on, and that's a nice guy right there. He's got a nice personality and everything, but
yeah, he's great.
What happened?
Well, he had the 2-stroke lead or more for 3.5 rounds because as he made the turn, I believe he still had a 2-stroke lead. Fitzpatrick was closing in. McIntyre was closing in. He definitely had the lead, and he shot a +4. And that +4 came mostly on the back 9. So like you say, and he's young, but, talking about a super nice guy. I'm not even saying Oberg is nicer than Cam Young as a person. I'm just saying Oberg shows it. That's all. Hey, whatever. I think I'm beating a dead horse at this point. Congrats, Cam Young. And it's time to move on because I didn't want to suck up that much time, although the TPC was awesome. Can't wait for the next 4 majors coming up. It's going to be great golf this year.
Me too.
Do we have a baseball game tonight?
Yes, the WBC final in Miami.
Wow.
Where the crowd, as my cousin Fred said, will probably be a little slightly in the favor of the Venezuelans as they take on Team USA in Miami. Woo, jeez. I'm ready.
Well, that sounds like a pretty good matchup. I saw what Venezuela did to Italy. They look like they are legit.
Yeah, that is a good Acuna. He's a beast.
Oh, no question about it. No question.
And tonight I thought it was really interesting. I looked up real quick tonight's starting pitcher for the USA. found this very interesting. His first name is Nolan, and he's a New York Met. For those of you who remember when the New York Mets way back when had a Nolan on their team, make a comment. Tell us how they did with that Nolan.
Well, their only comment was, Houston, we have a problem. So
Yeah,
let's just leave it
exactly.
at that.
Well
Yeah.
put. But I like his last name. His last name too, McLean. You
I love
know,
it.
bye bye Miss American Pie, playing for the USA tonight. He's starting on the bump. This kid came up last August for the Mets, mid-August. The Mets, as we both know, we mentioned in the shows, they got eliminated on the last day of the regular season last year. This kid comes up in the mid-August last year and went 5-1 with a 2.06 ERA. I really like their chances tonight with him. But before the show, when you told me that there's a pitch count deal going on with him, what's that?
Well, there's the WBC pitch count, which in this round you get 95, I think. But he's on a different pitch count. Not
Why?
exactly sure the reason. Both he and Team USA have said they're going to limit him to probably around 60 pitches, plus or minus, depending on the situation. I think a couple reasons. Number one, we have an incredibly strong bullpen, at least on paper. Secondly, I don't know where this comes from, but somebody said something about the second time through the order for him. There is a concern of a pretty big drop off on effectiveness, mainly just, teams batting average goes up, OPS goes up. So don't know if that's true. But, to kind of say it before the game is pretty interesting, versus making a move at some situation during the game, even though that's what you had intended all along. So I don't know. It's kind of interesting. But hey, look, I like our bullpen. If we can get through 3-4 innings, 5 innings with McLean, I'm like all for it.
Yeah, I hope so too. I thought he was going to be able to pitch for about 90, 95 pitches, but that's interesting that maybe the second time through the order not as effective. But he said I'm built for this moment.
Oh,
so
100%.
He wants the ball, and I hope he even proves them wrong on that stat, that maybe he's not going to be as strong the second time through the lineup. Maybe this time he'll be even stronger. I'm not going to take away. He went 5-1 from mid-August to the end of September last year.
Yep.
He also had 57 strikeouts. So the kid can get up there and he can punch you out. So
yeah,
I like their chances. But
listen, I like, to be frank with you, I like both teams' chances. I mean, isn't it funny? We all remember the Ohtani Trout matchup. That moment in 2023. And then this year you got Venezuela leadoff home run against Ohtani. It's funny. I was reading about the Venezuelan team. Most of these guys grew up during a really, really tough financial economic downturn in Venezuela. And in baseball, like a lot of sports like soccer around the world, but baseball was like their outlet, their way to, distract themselves and do something, positive. And so, you get this thing. I kind of mentioned it before. I never want anyone to think that I'm saying that anybody wearing a USA jersey is less patriotic or less motivated to play for their country. But I'm saying that other countries, just because of situational things, are very motivated. And, playing in the majors all the time, growing up in the majors in the USA, it's different when you throw on the Venezuela uniform and you're playing for that country, especially where baseball means a little bit different to a majority of those fans.
I agree. And all of those countries, Puerto Rico, Cuba, the Dominican Republic, it's, Mexico, all the countries. And baseball is king. Kids grow up. They don't get a football uniform,
No. Well, that's it. You're talking about resources. They have very little resources too. It's crazy. Yeah.
Right. So I like your angle there, because if Venezuela does pull it off, I'll be pretty darn happy for him. And I
Yeah.
guarantee you, when Italy lost the other night, my wife, who speaks fluent Italian, I won't tell you what she said, but
Yeah.
it was kind of like, oh, darn it.
Yeah.
But she also said she was very happy for the
Yeah.
winners.
Italy has nothing to hang their, I was going to say beret, but that's French. Italy has nothing to hang their
Oui, oui.
whatever on. Yeah, because they exceeded expectations big time. Even though it was USA, you know B team or whatever. Hey, that's okay. By the way, USA's we've only won once, 2017.
Yep.
Um, do we win for the second time ever tonight?
Yes. I think they win that ball game tonight. But I know one thing for sure. We better see something from Bryce Harper. We better see a little bit more from the judge. If you know where I'm going there. You
You're
need,
there.
need to see and Schwarber.
You're not going there. You went.
I went there. I sure did. You know who else went there? The
Oh,
Marlins man.
hmm.
The Marlins
Wait,
man's going to
wait.
be
The
there
Marlins man, the guy who's famous for sitting behind home plate at Marlins games, he's going. Wait a
with
minute. Did he win the lottery?
with the old alternate Marlins orange jersey.
Hmm.
Yes, that Marlins man.
Wow.
Guess how much he paid for his seats, thanks
I,
to
I,
cousin
I,
TC on this one.
my guess he won the lottery because I'm sure it was not $50.
Yep, you're right. I'm going to give you an opportunity to do an over and under real quick.
I'm
It's in
behind
the
home plate. WB.
thousands.
I'm gonna say I don't know, $4,000.
4,000. Okay, you're still under. And
Wow.
that's
What
a
was it?
good guess because it was $5,095 for his ticket.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
That's. I mean, listen. Um, if you got the money, it's worth it. It was great. By the way, it's great baseball. I mean, watching the USA game against Dominican the other night was great freaking baseball.
It
And I
was.
got to say something too, man. I literally was impressed with what the way Team Dominican Republic handled everything. I mean, that was a really rough call. Let's face it. It was a tough call to end the game. And they could have said, a lot of things or whatever, blah, blah, blah. Even, Geraldo Perdomo didn't say much. But, the manager's Albert Pujols, household name.
Yep.
He said, I'm not going to focus on the last pitch. This is a quote. Obviously, didn't go that way. I'm disappointed about the way the game ended, but I don't want to criticize any of that. It just wasn't meant to be for us. Player after player, Perdomo himself, we didn't lose the game right there. That's part of the game. I hope we do better next time. I mean, every quote on and on. They walked to the bus, as you probably saw. They're not obligated to do press conferences or anything in the WBC, so they're perfectly allowed and their right to do it. But they all walked out of the tunnel to the buses with big boom boxes on their shoulders and stuff. And by the way, did you see the film clip of 88-year-old Juan Marichal dancing in the clubhouse when the Dominican Republic won their last game? If you
No, I
haven't seen it,
missed that.
if
Darn
you
it.
haven't seen it, worth every penny. 88-year-old Juan Marichal. If you don't know who he is, Google it. Won't be hard to find. But I mean, that was awesome.
Giants.
Yeah, but I just did want to do a shout out to the Dominican Republic team, for the way they handled that whole thing. Gracious, I guess, in a loss.
Love that. And Albert Pujols has now entered the category of the Pete Sampras nice guy of baseball. What a class act.
Class
And I
act.
loved him as a player. Your dad, my dad, Cardinals
Uh,
fans everywhere,
yeah,
our
yeah.
family. He was awesome. I hated
Uh,
seeing him go to the
I just got
Angels.
to say, I didn't like the St. Louis Cardinals. Sorry, Dad. R.I.P. But whenever he came to the plate, God forbid it was a clutch moment, because it was like might as well just go get a beer, a Diet Coke, because it was just it was gonna be whatever catastrophe he was gonna cause.
The other point I wanted to bring up too, that just brought it to mind about the wearing the jersey and the pride and everything. The USA's Aaron Judge, I loved his comment about how important the game is to them. maybe not necessarily country, but how important the game is baseball wise. And it's a great
Yeah.
quote. He goes, "This is like a game 7 for like 6 or 7 games
100%.
over and over again. Another game 7 tonight." And that's what we
100%.
got. Game
This is
7 is what it
no,
really is.
this is, hey, by the way, if we don't win this game, the country that invented this game can clearly be defined as the team that is not best at the game they invented it. Because come on, how many chances do we get? We've won once. I mean, you've got to win this game tonight. And I'm going to close with this. How many runs do we need to score to win? Go.
7.
I say 5.
Oh, you're expecting some very good pitching tonight. Okay. We got the strong
it.
bullpen, and I just
say we
hope
score
no
more than
one-
5, so 6 more. You say more than 7, 8 plus. I'm not saying either one of those is right or wrong right now because I don't know, but I hope we pitch well enough to score 6 and win.
Do you think it'll be close?
Yes, yeah, just because both teams are going to be trying so hard. They're a great team. I mean, we know who a lot of these players are. I mean, we don't know a lot of the subs and all that, but we know who the main products are. And you're right. We got to come through. We got to play better than we've been playing on offense.
Yeah, we definitely need hit the ball, scored 10 runs.
Yeah. No, hit the ball. Let's move on. We need to talk about special. We try to do 2 a week anyways, but our podcast is going to be intentionally on Thursday morning, our next one, because it's going to be a show filled with mostly something going on starting Thursday. And if you don't know what that is, then it's just plain madness that you don't know.
Come join us and you'll find out.
That's right. That's right. But
March Madness.
It is March Madness. I said, when does Madness start? And they said March. And I said, oh, okay. So I walked around like an army soldier. And then I said, okay, when does Madness start? And they said March. So I walked around again. Anyways, long story. Let's talk
you're
about
a Marine.
Yeah, I follow. Yes, sir. There have been. Let's close the show with some NFL news because there are some worth really that caught my attention at least, and I know some caught yours. But what's going on? What's going on with the NFL trades?
Yeah, of course.
Did
You
something
got
go
the
on
Miami
with
Orange Bowl behind you, and of course, the Dolphins traded Jaylen Waddle to the Denver Broncos. I'm gonna come right out and say, I'm gonna come right out and say I'm glad.
Sure.
Can I tell you why?
I mean, I'm glad for Waddle at this point, but go ahead.
Yeah, let him go to a contender now. Maybe he can go get his ring now. Good point.
Yeah.
Didn't even think of that.
Yeah.
I don't want to be too critical, but in his tenure, he has been oft injured. And it always seemed like in games when we really needed him, he's on the sideline. Often injured. When it came down to crunch time, most of the time, nowhere to be seen. So I guess I went ahead and I was kind of critical of him. And also, it's just rebuild. It's time to get the clubhouse cleared out and let's start over again.
Yeah.
And then last thing I want to say is I know what the Miami Dolphins are doing. They're getting
trying to get up to a point where they can say they're rebuilding?
Yes. And by getting this trade with Denver, they just added 3 draft picks. They already had 4 through the first 4 rounds, the normal. But now the Dolphins have 7 draft picks in the first 4 rounds. Thank you, Denver. Yep. So that's 2 in the first. They got a second, 2 in the third, 2 in the fourth.
Yeah, it's good.
And
good.
Or 2 in the third, second. I don't know. But anyway, You know what the Dolphins are doing? They're going to take all of those draft picks, give them to the Raiders, and they're going to move up to number 1 and get Mendoza.
That is an interesting, very interesting
prognostication.
That's a very interesting, I was going to say opinion or point. What's the word I'm looking for? That's a very interesting, thought. I say no way that happens because the Raiders have been waiting for a franchise quarterback forever. So this might be the only time, hopefully, that they have this high of a pick. But If
Hey,
they do that, yeah, it's going to have to be a ton of capital
I just
value that they give.
it's St. Patrick's Day. I haven't had a beer yet, so now I'm
Yeah,
really thirsty. And I just thought, you know what? If they could pull off something like that, maybe they could trade all those picks or still make some more trades before the draft and then just load some team up with a bunch of picks and then just go, oh, we're at number one. Fernando,
well,
come home. I would love
hey,
it.
listen, who's Willis going to have to throw to, man, if they keep doing this? And I'll tell you this, the Dolphins are hampered by $76 million tied up in quarterbacks. Of course, one of those, the 50 million plus, quarterbacks not even on the team anymore. So, I mean, I don't know what they should do, because if everyone says Willis is capable of what he's capable of, why would you trade all that away to get Mendoza when he might not be much any better than Willis? Willis at least has NFL experience. Would be nice to see the Miami kid come home. It's funny. I was just looking at this. The Miami Dolphins are listed as, losers when it comes to, the free agent so far. But that was as of 5:30 this morning. So maybe they're off that list now. The Raiders are definitely a loser. By the way, it's come out being in the medical sales industry. I've always thought it was kind of like a HIPAA violation for a team to say, Max Crosby failed his physical. Isn't that like HIPAA violation? You're not supposed to like share people's medical information. Apparently, a team can do that. Other doctors have chimed in saying, yes, they believe that he would fail a physical. So, maybe the Ravens aren't looking so bad after all. I'll tell you, I'll be honest with you, and looking at everything going on, and there's more to come, I'm loving what Drake May is suddenly looking at when he goes on to spring practice this year. He quietly has picked up Stephon Diggs. I mean, unbelievable. They're replacing Stephon Diggs with Romeo Dobbs and Vera Tucker on the offensive line. And I mean, I'm telling you, I think Drake May is going to get a better supporting cast than last year. And then, of course, who else? You want to fill in the blanks with Kyler
DJ,
Murray and all that? I don't know.
DJ,
Yeah, yeah,
DJ Moore, or
yeah.
no?
DJ Moore. I mean, DJ
Wait a
Moore
minute.
going to Denver. That that's a pretty big deal too.
Or is DJ Moore going to Buffalo? Thought he was
Going to
going to.
Buffalo. I mean, yeah, going to Buffalo.
I
I
said it
mean,
wrong. There we go. That's why we weren't drafted.
yeah. No, Buffalo Bills got DJ Moore, but I'll be honest with you, man,
That's
they
it.
haven't done anything else, and I just don't know if they really have done anything to improve their team. But we'll see. Still more to come. We could talk about when the whole period's over. We can talk about the winners and losers. But yeah, it's still a lot going on as usual. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. But good for the Dolphins. They're trying to do something because, like we said last show, they can't even say they're rebuilding. They need to get up to this point to start rebuilding, and this might be a move to get them headed that direction.
And they need to make a move to change the slogan from what you talking about, Willis, to who you throwing to, Willis. There you go.
Mm.
That'll work.
Name that show.
Print it.
What you talking about, Willis? Name that show. What was that show?
Oh my
Not
goodness.
not Prince of Bel Air.
Oh,
What you talking about, Willis?
family
I
matters.
don't. The good news is, I know the show you're talking about. Just can't pull it out right now. So, but hey, you know what? For next episode, we'll have it written down.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
that's it for this episode of the Undrafted Armchair Quarterbacks with Jim and Joe. Thanks for checking us out and hanging with us for some real fan-driven sports talk.
And please don't forget, your comments are a part of the show. Keep them coming, everyone. We'll be subscribing. Please subscribe and join the conversation every week right here on YouTube, Spotify, Instagram, and TikTok. Thank you so much for joining us. And Joe, happy St. Patty's. Go celebrate.
Thank you very much, my man. And we will see you on Thursday for a March Madness Lollapalooza.
Love it.
Me too.
Ready.
All right, man. See you, buddy.
Thank you.